This is Let's Make Waves podcast. I'm your host, Rana Al-Basri Mawad, and I believe that we're all here to make waves. I created this podcast to help you build your brand by sharing with you tools, resources, and strategies to gain professional authority for better business opportunities. If you want to get unstuck, you've come to the right place. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Let's Make Waves podcast. I'm your host, Rana Al-Basri Mawad, and I'm really happy that you're joining me today. Now, today's episode is a little bit different. There's nothing scripted. And if you're watching this and not listening here, I'm showing my notes. And that's because this episode is the last episode of this season. We are taking a break, the summer break, and then we'll be back in September 2024. And I wanted to actually honestly and candidly share with you what I'll be doing over the summer. So, of course, I'll be taking over, holiday time, spending time with my family, traveling a little bit, but I will also use this time to go through my mid-year review of what I planned as my goals, my annual goals. I usually have quick checkups by the end of every month, a quarterly checkup, which is a little bit more in depth. And now I will be doing my mid-year review, and I wanted to share this with you because, as the finale episode for this season, I think it's a great time to do a mid-year review if you are working on your personal brand or something in your business. And I really like mid-year reviews more than, if I can say that, more than the end of year. In the end of the year, you're kind of looking over the past and you're going through what has been done, all the campaigns, all the activations, and you're kind of, just checking if certain goals have been reached and what exactly is the the level of how these goals were met, and if you did all the different plans and ideas and activations correctly, and a lot of learnings. It's a huge learning curve. There's an importance to the end-year review, but I especially like mid-year reviews because they kind of give you a second chance. You're looking at things more of in time, and they're giving you a second chance to kind of gauge what has been working so far. And you have ample time, which is the second half of the year, to kind of fix anything that needs to be fixed, or take certain detours, or amend certain activations that might need some revisions. So this is what we're going to be talking about this year. So I'm going to be very honest with you, and I'm going to share with you some of what I looked at, my goals, and some of the things that I will be doing in my mid-year review, and the reason why there are certain things that I have either decided, halfway during the year to eliminate, or recognize that I've been too ambitious in terms of timelines and I needed more time to meet certain targets. So just to recap, and I'm sure everyone has this as well, what I've done in the beginning of the year is that I set certain goals for myself and my work during the course of 2024. And what I've done is that I've locked in my annual targets. So I have, for those of you who are joining us and they don't know me, I'm a brand and communication consultant. So my kind of work, I have different ways of working with people, but mainly I either work one-on-one with entrepreneurs or experts who want to build their personal brands, or I work with companies and corporations so that I can help them fix their brand strategy, or help their teams to build, their employees to build their personal brand for the growth and the benefit of the business overall. So what I've done is that I've put an overall target for my work for this year, and I've split that between my one-on-ones and my business consultancy. So for usually my one-on-one are very limited seats during the course of the year. Sometimes it is very limited. It's usually between 10 and 15. I don't take a lot of one-on-ones because it's very much in depth. It's a sprint of 6 to 8 weeks that we go through, and then depending on the if there's any further necessity, we'll do a second sprint, but it's usually a very high intensity sprint of 6 to 8 weeks, one-on-one. So after doing that, I've kind of mapped out the percentage of how much my targets would be from this part of my work or from the other. And I kind of split it, and it kind of gives me a target. And I really like this because it kind of calms down the overwhelm. You look at it and you're like, oh, I need to make 7-figure a year or a 6-figure a year, or I need to have a minimum of, let's say 100 clients a year. That's a really big target. But when you split it across 10 months a year, if not 12, but 10 months a year to be realistic, you will be able to kind of say, okay, so my target is to generate this much leads during the month, where that percentage will be the percentage of from the leads that can be converted into clients. And it kind of makes it easier on monthly basis to meet those targets, and sometimes even exceed those targets. So this is what I've done in the beginning of the year. And then the second thing I've done is also built my communication plan. And in my communication plan, I've split the kind of content and work that I will be doing from the content that I will be using to build awareness for my personal brand. And then there's the content that will help me to build connection. And this is the content that I will be using, that I created to use either to build my email list or to help me establish a connection with warm leads. And then there is the content that is purely used for very straightforward sales targeting. So this is my communication plan. And within my communication plan, it also has a product that I have, which is Personal Brand Academy. And this is a digital course that I have where people who take it can DIY their personal brand. The nice thing about this course is that it's very, very, very much in depth. It's all video based, and it has a lot of exercises and downloadable PDFs that can help them in doing that. Now, in my annual plan this year, I've also included things to do with my personal growth. So personal growth included the time that I've already assigned for vacations and to be with my family. It also included certain trainings that I wanted to take during the year. And also it included things that I wanted to commit myself on a lifestyle basis so that I can include it in my calendar, whether it is, going to the gym or doing Pilates classes or all of that. They had to be included in the calendar. So I made sure that my annual plan also includes personal growth. So it's the mental and the physical type of personal growth. Now, in terms of my consultancies and in terms of all of these targets, what I usually do in this middle of the year assessment is that I turn the targets and the numbers and whatever I've met so far into kind of diagrams. It's easier for me to see things in percentage level. And if you're a visual kind of person like me, I suggest you do that. So instead of saying I have 12 things that I need to do for this particular thing in my strategy, I have done in the first half of the year 4. So it looks like 4 out of 12. I look at it as a pie chart. So it kind of gives me a percentage. I like that because it is motivating for me. So I know that I'm going on the right track. And if I'm not at the 50 or the 60%, then I need to dig deeper and understand why couldn't I meet the 50 or the 60% by the middle of the year. And this is what I've done. So, in terms of my consultancy work one on one, I'm very happy to see that it is on 50% level, which is great. I'm really excited that the work that I've done has helped me to meet that. It is also the same when it comes to my work with businesses. It's also at the 50% level. And that is because this year I've also included the trainings, the private trainings that I do for businesses, and the private workshops. So that really added to the percentage. In terms of the communication plan, what I've seen is that I am at 40, actually 38% when it comes to my email list building target. And what I wanted to focus this year is on building my email list and making sure that it is growing at a certain pace that I am comfortable with. The good news about it is that the opening rate is around 45 to 47%. It fluctuates there. And the conversion rate is also around 50%. So I'm very happy about these numbers. They're pretty high. But in terms of overall email list building, it is not at the 50% target. And this is where I will go in deep and think and find different ways that I can support my aim to kind of fulfill those numbers. And this is where, again, the brainstorming starts of what kind of content do I need to create to build that email list? Is there any kind of lead magnet that I need to create that will help in building that email list? Do I need to do more announcement, inviting people to build that email list? Should I consider, and this is something that honestly I'm thinking about, should I consider having a LinkedIn newsletter versus the list building that I'm doing, or maybe a combination of both? So this is what I will be doing and digging deeper during the course of the mid-year review that I'm doing this month. In terms of social media activations, I have a whole content plan and calendar on my social media. I've taken a decision that I'm very happy with this year, and that is, although I have an account and I am sort of active on all the major social media platforms, my target audience and my focus are mainly on two out of the ones that I'm available in. So I'm very happy that I took this strategic decision. It had helped me to not only focus my content, but to really dive deeper when it comes to connecting with my followers, with my contacts, with my network, having behind the scenes in the DMs, having conversations, solidifying those contacts, and also the connection with those contacts. And thanks to that focus, it also helped me to add up to my targets when it comes to another product that I have, which is this podcast. I'm really happy about the performance of the podcast this year when it comes to the different regions that it has been reaching in terms of listenership. It has grown double digits in terms of downloads per episode. And I'm so grateful to everybody who's listening for coming back and listening to the newest episode. I'm also grateful to everyone who has shared the podcast or a particular episode when they found it useful, with their network or with their friends. I see the numbers, and I'm really grateful to all of you. It has grown double digits in the MENA region. It has also grown in North America and in key countries in Europe, such as the UK, Germany, Sweden, France. Thank you so much. So I also am very happy about the podcast this year. As you've seen it, since January and till this episode, the season finale, we have had great topics that we talked about. So we had topics on social media content. We talked about employee advocacy and advocacy programs and enticing employees to build their personal brand, because that will positively impact companies if their employees have strong personal brands. We talked about the struggle of building a personal brand and how to tackle those struggles. Content marketing for experts. What are the major things that they need to consider? Communication tips when it comes to launching something, whether launching an offer or even launching a business. What are certain things they need to be on the lookout for? How to create lead magnets from existing content so that we don't need to reinvent the wheel. How to craft a unique selling proposition, which is something very important when building a personal brand. There's also episodes about outlining the personal brand communication strategy, which is a very popular episode, I must say, and understandably so. Communication strategy is something that is a pillar in building a personal brand. I also want to take this chance to thank the guests, the amazing professional award-winning guests that I had on the podcast for this season. All of them have gracefully shared their time with us so that we can learn something amazing that hopefully it did impact me when it comes to thinking about certain things, but I hopefully it also did impact you and your work positively. I'd like to thank my guest Jafar Hamza from Bahrain, who was gracefully sharing with us how building a brand, how to design a brand success, and what are the key elements that can make a brand more successful than another brand of similar background. Also, thank you to our guest, Michelle Ballon, who tried to show us that we need to redefine our brand away from the common thing that we see, the cookie cutters out there. Not everything has to be done in a certain way or under the typical guidelines that everybody is sharing. There are certain fundamentals, but not every single brand can be treated in the same way. Also, a big thank you to my guest, Remy Mancera, who talked about in depth the importance of a brand story and what are the key elements that someone can put in their brand story that kind of connects it either to the offer of their business or to themselves in terms of building their personal brand. Love that episode. And also a big thank you to the brand scientist, Bagil. He was the last guest for this season, and Bagil talked in depth about the importance of relevance, relatability, and values when building a brand. It was a very provocative episode, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did when I was having this discussion and chat with him. In the end, I would like to say that this can only happen because of you. And I want to thank each and every one of you for coming back and listening to the episode. To anybody who came on board on Let's Make Waves this year, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. And I really hope that you are benefiting, because that's the intention of Let's Make Waves. My intention from this podcast and from the content that I create is that I have a strong belief that each and every one of us as professionals, we're all here to make a difference. We all have something unique and valuable in us, in our expertise, in our experiences, in our professions that will create waves in our industry. And that stems or starts from building a strong personal brand that will directly impact positively the establishment and the growth of your business, or even if you're a professional in an organization, it will impact positively your career trajectory. So based on that, all of the content that I was creating and that I do share and create, even when it comes to posts or articles that I write on LinkedIn, they are all in, under this value and this aim and this mission. So I do hope that you are gaining the knowledge that you are seeking. If there are any ideas or topics that you would like me to talk about or discuss, please, by all means, do connect and do let me know what did you have in mind. All of my contacts on LinkedIn, you can find me on LinkedIn and on Instagram. Just send me a DM. I would love to hear from you. And if my last request is that if you are a listener for a while and you are enjoying and benefiting from Let's Make Waves podcast, I would really appreciate it if you can spare the time to share a review. It's through the listenership and through the reviews that Let's Make Waves can reach as many people as possible who might benefit or get impacted by the information that we share. I really hope that you do consider sitting down and spending few hours or even a day looking at everything that you had done in the past few months since the beginning of 2024, and where have you reached so far? How far are you from your goal and from your target? And what would it take for you to really not only meet that target, but exceed it? So what would that take? If there is any kind of pivoting that needs to happen, why not? Flexibility is always something positive. I really hope that you take that time to look at it, because we still have time. We still have till the end of this year to make the impact that we want to make. So thank you once again for being here in this season. And I'm really looking forward to coming back to you in the next season in September. I wish you a wonderful summer. I really hope that you spend it with the people that you care about the most. And it's a great opportunity to recharge. And maybe the creative juices will be happening. So thank you so much. I'll see you all soon. Have a wonderful week and summer vacation. And don't forget to keep always making waves. Bye, everyone.